Hello everybody and welcome to the ITK Soccer Show. It is the 20th of March 2017. Myself and Dan and John are here with you for the next hour or so, talking all the news and results in football, including Champions League from this past week, as well as the quarter-final draw. We'll also be talking about Premier League results and some domestic news, focusing on the Irish international team. And we're also going to take a topic this week to discuss at the start of the show, and that topic is going to be...
off!
And that topic is going to be Spurs. Yeah, Spurs. I think there's some gremlins.
And we're back.
I think there's some gremlins in the system. Anyway, we'll leave that in.
Yeah, leave it in.
Okay, so let's start with Spurs. I wanted to continue on the idea of doing a topic at the start of the show. We all agreed on that. Last week we had the story of the trip.
Yes.
We'll have Leicester when maybe in a week or two.
Sure.
Especially when we see how it plays out. We'll talk about it when we're talking about the Champions League results in a bite-sized form. But for the moment, we'll stick with Spurs on this week's show. And I kind of just wanted to almost focus on the media coverage of Spurs more than anything else. The fact that they're just completely slipping under the rug as a team that pretty much should have come second last year and almost undoubtedly will come second again this year. How much longer until they become seasonal contenders and people start recognising them as that?
I think they have to win the FA Cup.
I think they need to win something and prove themselves.
I think they have 20 odd years of lads at Spurs, and I think they're great, but I think they're a very young team that hasn't won anything, with a young manager who hasn't won anything.
Yeah,
who should have finished second last year because it was a 2-horse race and they finished third. I could see a similar thing happening this year. I just don't think they're great, but they're young, and I don't think they will win anything.
Well, do you think... Okay, well, that's one thing, but you can only come that close a couple of times where people start bringing you into the conversation.
They haven't really gone close now. Like last year, they were still... I think the closest they got was 5 points within Leicester, right? Their record against the big clubs...
because Leicester were on drugs and Sky were
well,
doing
whatever.
the fixtures.
Leicester on drugs. Is this a conspiracy?
Yeah.
There was a thing actually. It was Spurs and Leicester players were the main culprits.
That makes sense now.
Remember last year, they were all on drugs and then we just kind of swept it under. Like Spanish football, where they found all that blood with drugs in it. They're like, yeah, can't test that.
I don't know how true all these things are, though.
Well, that's very true. The blood thing in Spain is absolutely true.
Just break that down a little bit for those of us who don't know.
You didn't? Oh, it's years old. They found all these blood packs, and it's mostly like from cyclists and...
Sure.
Is it Nadal? He was very sort of like... People were like, yeah, it's tennis as well. And even Andy Murray came and yeah, there's a lot of people here who are on drugs, and there's just like a lot of talk. Like there was just rumours around
it's kind of like getting blood transfusions
and
after...
the Spanish government kept blocking it, despite like many courts being like release the drugs here, and I think they might have destroyed it in the end, and like that's why most people when they talk about Spanish football they're like there's always going to be the asterisks. Like I was at a Spanish football night there with 2 Spanish journalists, and they came up we would have preferred if they got tested because they don't think they're on drugs, but there's just always going to be an asterisk on all Spanish football because it's just the Spanish government blocked all the testing because there's so much money for it.
That's more a Spanish sport than football.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying football as well.
I'm just
you could be talking about Fernando Alonso, the Formula 1 driver. Well, you could be talking about Nadal. You could be talking about a lot of the cyclists.
In terms of football,
I said cyclists and I said Nadal. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, has there been many people from Spanish football that have come to, let's just say, the Premier League that have tremendously underperformed, where you look like, you're not getting away with it now.
Aspas.
Di Maria.
Well, he's Argentinian.
Yeah, but he played in the Spanish league. Or is this just Spanish nationals that are being accused?
It's Spanish league.
Spanish league?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Di Maria. That could explain it.
Well, I think he was an artist as well.
Falcao?
Look, it could be anything. But like, as I said it when we talked about it last year for the Sacco thing, it is mental with all the drugs and sports at the minute that nothing comes up against football. Like, who was it? Like, Adrian Mutu, the last one? It was cocaine
Mutu.
or something?
Well, that was the coke, yeah.
And like what? like...
Yeah, like that they'll be quick to get you for cocaine or weed or something. But if you take a performance enhancing one, they'd almost try and cover it more.
Well, do we know, on average, how often Premier League players are tested for banned substances, whether it's street drugs or performance-enhancing drugs.
I think it's like generally it's
They're random.
It's a personal match, isn't it?
Is it really? Yeah.
It's supposed to be one person per match. So you could be, in theory, you could be picked up 6 times in a row. They just pick someone. I think like they've just got guys there, it's like peeing that cup.
Yeah.
But like the story of like in '94, it was so hot. They had, I think it was Tommy Coyne after the Italy game.
Yeah.
The Ireland game, and Tommy Coyne couldn't pee. He was like that dehydrated, and they were like giving him water. They're giving him everything for like an hour, and he was sweating so much that he couldn't. He was actually so dehydrated. So it is like one of those things, like Rio Ferdinand missing his drugs thing, like, but he actually missed it and then turned off his phone. Like there was something going on there.
Yeah, that's pretty fishy.
It's kind of like if you ignore it, that's worse. Like, you know, but like again, it depends. Not like without any hard evidence, it's hard for anyone to claim anything, because like around this time last year, it's like, oh yeah, all the Spurs and Leicester players, like Kante was apparently the biggest defender, but like, you know, you could just be a freak, like, you know, like that goes for any sport though.
Where did these rumors come from though? Like in the sense that like if there was no evidence,
they're supposed to be Guardian undercover things. Like the one last year was the Guardian, I'm pretty sure.
So they just talked to people, most likely drinking pints of wine. And they revealed to the Guardian that to be honest, there is a lot of doping.
No, it was that mad doctor, wasn't it? And like he said that he'd done it with a few Spurs and Leicester players, and then people read into him and it was like, well, maybe he's not the most reliable.
But it's like any kind of scandal at all in sport.
Why would a doctor admit that? Is that not just an indictment of himself as a doctor?
It was like one of those undercover, you know, jug of wine, Sam Allardyce type situations.
Okay,
but it could be like like, you know, like there's been things of like match fixing going on previous, like, you know, could be decades old. Like it's gone through, and people are going, oh yeah, he used to fix games and all that. On what evidence? Oh yeah, he just did. And it's like, it's just like people will say things obviously as well to earn a few bucks as well, and that's the harsh truth of it as well. Like, there could be something in these things, but unless there's anything actually proven, it's literally just showing these whispers, and it's just you kind of have to take it as a pinch of salt.
Speaking of match fixing,
speaking of saying stuff for money, we are looking for sponsors at the moment.
Sure. You know, the only thing we've gotten is a really nice free cartoon picture. We need proper sponsorship.
That was nice.
The Bruce Pritchard podcast, which is like not only the most successful wrestling podcast at the moment, but one of the most successful in the world. They got sponsored by Miller there. I tell you, they have to drink Miller during every show now. It's also made the podcast even better.
Go and drink beer about every show. Oh God,
I could do it. We used
you
to
generally do it. We used to do it.
Yeah,
it's just I have to drive here. You know,
that's very true.
You don't have to. You don't live that far away.
It's cold.
Yeah, there'll never be a situation in about 2 months where John won't be able to drink
because of the divorce.
Yes, the divorce. No, it's actually more so the fact that you're moving to Dunleary.
That's true.
That would be the issue.
And when are you
because
going?
of my divorce.
Because of your divorce.
When's your divorce?
Let's all get divorces.
What?
When's your divorce?
What?
I have some perfectly timed affairs, and have to get my affairs in order before we do any of that.
Sure,
I've got many affairs to get in order.
Women affairs, and when he's getting a divorce.
Yeah, personal.
Speaking of the match fixing, did you see the thing today where the verdict came down on the World Cup qualifier, the African World Cup qualifier from a few weeks ago?
Yeah, someone's been banned or something.
Yeah,
the referee.
Did you see the clip of the penalty?
No.
It's in the first few seconds of the match. It is fucking amazing.
Is it that bad? Like,
it's hard to say if it's match fixing. You know, like this.
Except for the fact that it's just
like it was definitely in the box.
It was there was a football chipped into the box, and his whistle lit up.
Oh, he just blew the whistle because the ball was in the box.
Yeah.
Did he point at anyone, or did he say what it was?
He said it was a penalty.
Did he just point at the penalty spot and ran away?
Like Howard Webb and Old Trafford. Just
Stevie G's third. It seriously was. It was incredible.
I'll have to Google it.
Yeah,
I just heard he got is it Ghanaian ref or something?
Yes, I believe
or something, and he that's all I heard. I didn't see the clip, but I've heard.
It was a Senegal match, wasn't it? Senegal and somebody else.
Was it full international or under 21s?
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Spurs. So, how long do we see Pochettino staying there for? Because this, if we're going to look, 2 more seasons. He didn't.
I don't know. The Spurs fans tend to turn on a manager very quickly.
Insane when he took over.
But they had their highest. Well, before last year,
he's the best manager they've had.
They had their highest ever points tally 2 years earlier with AVB, and they booted him out the next year because the press didn't like him and the fans turned on him.
Well,
They were doing fine. They had a couple of bad defeats, like Arsene Wenger at the minute, bad defeats to big teams.
Yeah,
and then he got thrown out for Tim Sherwood and his Magic Chile.
To be fair, if Dan had his,
which he gave to a fan,
if Dan had his loyalty stance for the AVB sacking rather than Ranieri, I would certainly entertain that. Because that did seem very hasty, I remember.
Well, the one thing about the year before that, when they got those points, Gareth Bale was literally scoring goals in 35 yards.
Yeah.
He was literally, I think he got them like...
But you can't deny they do have a reputation.
They sold their best player. They were doing roughly, maybe a little...
Oh, they were doing...
They were not doing... They were fine. Liverpool played them. When Liverpool beat them 5-0, there was like 3 points in the difference of the two of them. And Liverpool chanced for the league that year. There was not as big of a difference. And
Harry got them to the Champions League. They got rid of him the next year.
What happens if they
sell
Harry?
He walked out pretty much. Well, he wanted the England job.
Yeah.
After he goes, the England job's a fucking king. And then he wanted to get that, and they're like, well, you can fuck off.
Like, what if they sell Harry Kane this year? Should Poch get sacked then because they sold their best player?
No, but I think AVB is a bit of a spoofer, to be honest. I think his record...
I think you're Paul Merson's and you. What does AVB know about Spurs? Why don't you give it to Tim Sherwood and his Gile?
I literally just said that.
At least I could get a point with him. That's what, like the Daily Mail and all that sort of stuff like this. 3 named foreigner coming in, taking a London club.
3 named.
I was like, that was an absolute... The press were absolutely out for him. I don't think, like, obviously, I suppose your argument could be that he's floating around China now. But
yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's in the Chinese league. Yeah, if he was any good, he'd be fucking in a top European team.
After winning the league with Russia, he's having a great all time.
I suppose the argument.
That's the argument. It's like, he was at fucking Porto. He did well there. He was up for 16.
You want to say that Hulk isn't the greatest striker in Brazilian history? I suppose your argument could
to be fair, remember we asked John to name top 10 strikers in the world last year? He said Jackson Martinez. He just moved to China.
Yeah, I stand by that. I support this Chinese league.
He was also devastated when that Teixeira guy went to China.
Yeah, I was. First off, you didn't say top 10. You said 30 players better than Giroud. And I struggled after 10.
No, the thing is that Jackson Martinez was in the top 10.
2 days before.
No, he was in the... Jackson Martinez was in your top 10.
I stand by it.
He was... Well...
You got a bad transfer at Atletico. Didn't work out.
He had less time as a top striker than Tim Sherwood and Ishile did as a top manager. Okay, can we talk about Spurs' current day, if that's all right?
Well, I think that they've got a manager now who has brought them... First of all, they still haven't beaten a big team, and they still haven't kind of got that... like a league or a cup win or anything like that, but they're definitely going the right way. I think under the years ago, I never thought they won the Carling Cup in 2008 with
208.
It was with
Helvetali.
Juande Ramos.
Yes,
was the last thing they won, and then they won a Carling Cup or something, 1 or 2 10 years before that. So that's all they've won. I think they won the FA Cup in 91.
Yeah. So
they've won literally nothing. Pretty much.
You know, what I'm trying to find here is a balance of why are the media not taking them as seriously?
That's the reason I'm giving because they haven't beaten a big team. They're not going.
Harry Kane was out for the start of the year and they couldn't buy a win. So they were already out of the title race. So now they're just playing catch up.
Sure.
They were knocked out of both European competitions.
That is also...
They were disgracefully bad in Champions League.
Champions League and Europa League.
And they bought badly, I think...
Okay, I want to get to that in 1 sec. But... going on the side of it's English media, when Harry Kane and Dele Alli are on the same team and they're second in the league, second year in the row, I'm surprised that there's not more whip about them, about the great English promise. And I was going to say a counter argument to that is that as Pochettino seems to be a great manager and he did great things for Southampton and he does seem to be one of the best younger managers in the world, he really didn't set the world on fire with summer transfers this year at all, did he?
I think Daniel Levy controls an awful lot more of that.
That would also be true. Than
what Poch would. Like, for example, Wanyama was bought for 11 million. I could not believe no one came in for him, even when he was at Celtic. He was head and shoulders with everyone. You can actually see he's a really good player. He went to Southampton.
The players whose first name were Victor tend to be criminally underrated.
Moses?
Sure. You're looking at me as if I'm not talking about Victor Moses, John. Thanks. Go on.
Victor Meldrew?
I'm not. Go on.
Well, all I'm saying is that Wanyama, he's a Poch signing. Who was their big signing over the summer?
Janssen.
Wanyama?
Sissoko.
Well, come
35 million, right?
We all knew who the best midfielder there to get.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, though, do you think Pochettino would have bought him? I really don't think he would have.
I wouldn't have thought
I'm
that
he might have bought Janssen. I'm not too sure, but definitely 100% he would buy like an Alderweireld because he had him at Southampton. He had Wanyama at Southampton. He played a lot of these guys. You can tell what he's done. He's made Kyle Walker into a good defender.
Yeah.
Danny Rose he's improving everyone as a team. He's got Ericsson actually scoring and assisting in a lot more games now. Harry Kane is really top quality. And then like
the real deal, you might say.
No, don't be so ridiculous. But no, I think it's just what he's done is, and when he took over, I actually said about 6 months later, Spurs would be like a train once they get going with him. Now I didn't think they'd be up second in the league. I thought they'd be really pushing top 4 like they hadn't done in the previous few seasons. But once he leaves, that club will go back down unless they can replace him because he is the driving force behind it.
He has his limits though.
I don't think so.
He will be. He hasn't won a big game, and he's fallen out of the Champions League in almost every cup competition, bar the FA Cup this year, easily with Southampton and. Like, he's done great with the Spurs team. He's really pushed them further. But he absolutely has limits. And that's the thing. I was listening to an interview with Jamie Carragher today. And he said that, like, players know when everyone's watching. And that's why these big matches. And he almost said that's maybe why Liverpool did so well with them. Because he knew that everyone was watching. And Spurs seem to have the opposite effect. Because every time they have the big... Well, I know they beat Everton.
So they're still the Premier League major bottlers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which they have been known for like 20 years.
Well, they'd be the least experienced big match players.
But like I think as well, you have to get it. Like they're still a young team. Their performances at home this season have been very, very good. Like again, it's like Rome isn't built today and all that nonsense. It's. I actually do think though that if they can keep going where they're going, and if they were to finish third this season, I think that's a really good achievement. I think that's an outstanding achievement. They finished playing probably Chelsea and City. Would probably be the two.
Harry Kane out for?
They didn't release it, but they think it's 4 weeks. But they haven't really.
I heard it was a season, no?
That's what they're saying. They're not really getting into
drugs,
it.
Eh?
Yeah. But I think with Pochettino, they've got the right guy at the right time.
I have to ask then. Okay, so let's say Pochettino does have another 2 seasons on top of this, right?
He could, if it goes well for him, he could be at Real Madrid. And John will probably disagree with that, but I can see him go there.
Well, let's just say he gets another 2.
Well, if Rafa can go there, anyone can go there.
That's very true.
Get the Gile in.
2 more seasons. What are their chances of winning the league? Like, it's just a matter of pushing on at this stage.
But they don't have. First of all, they don't have the budget, and to match Chelsea or City.
What?
Spurs.
They spend more than. Well, they didn't spend more than City, but they spent more than Chelsea this summer.
Well, that was just what Chelsea did.
They always spend money.
No,
John. Spurs have man. Don't be silly. They're building a new stadium and they spend loads every.
They're building a stadium.
They still have.
And they're moving into it. And did they win a game in Wembley this year?
Oh no!
What does that got to do with anything? They still
that means that there's things going against them.
They do have a lot of money.
John, they've more money. John, they've more money than Watford and Bournemouth have.
They've more money than.
They don't have more money than Arsenal.
Like Liverpool, Everton.
They don't have
Arsenal probably.
They don't have more money than Arsenal.
Okay, they spend more money than Arsenal.
They do spend more money than Arsenal.
They spend more, not in the summer.
In general, they do over the last 5 seasons.
Well, who did Arsenal buy in the summer?
Xhaka 30-odd million, Mustafi 30-odd million, Perez 20 million.
Well, they bought Sissoko, Janssen, Wanyama, like these all.
Not as much.
Did they buy centre back as well?
No. They can compete. No, the way you're only going to compete with the top team, like I say, a Chelsea or a Man City or a Man United, who have that muscle, financial power, to actually go and physically beat them in a league or a competition is you need a match winner, like they had a few years ago in Gareth Bale, like you guys had with Luis Suarez. What Arsenal could possibly have with Sanchez if they can get it working. They need a player.
Well, what they did have with Sanchez up to last month,
like Harry Kane or Ali.
Kane's not there yet. As in a guy who could win you the league, or single-handedly pick you up from nowhere. You're playing shit and win you the league. Spurs. And you know what I mean? The Luis Suarez effect that he did, that your team and your financial budget isn't as good as Man City or Chelsea or Man United, but you've got maybe 1 or 2 absolute amazing match winners, which I still think they're short of. And that's where I don't think, like, it's very difficult to kind of break that, But I think what they're doing at the moment is keep getting Champions League. Don't make a fucking arse of it like they did the last two times. Get further in it, progress, get better players, keep getting better, beat the bigger teams, improve your away record, build the stadium, keep going. If they can hang in there once the stadium is built and they're in there and settled, then you've got a chance. They're not going to do it in the next 2 seasons. So that's what's so important if Poch can stay.
Well, why couldn't they do it? Why couldn't they do it in the next 2 seasons? You're talking about match winners.
I'm not criticising Spurs here, by the way. I think they've been brilliant this season.
Okay, if they come second, third one year, second the next, and they don't have one of these quote-unquote match winners, they're still coming ahead of 18 teams one year, 17 teams one year, 18 teams another year. So where are all these other match winners in the league? Do you know what I mean? Like, if they're building on it...
but that's right. No one has them, but they're...
Well, then Spurs don't need them.
They don't have the mentality, Dan. Last year,
and
last year they were good because they were chasing, and then the one time
they beat Stoke 4-0.
They were
April,
they were
and
chasing.
then they blew it.
Everyone beat Stoke, whatever. But they're chasing. Everyone beats Stoke. They're not that.
It's all beat Stoke.
Yeah,
and get divorced.
They're good at chasing. They were able to chase Leicester, and then when Leicester faltered, they faltered. It's basically what happens. And even this year, they got injuries, didn't get a lot of wins because Kane was out, and then now that everything's basically gone, they were bad, got knocked out of Europe. Just go. It's easy. Tough game against Europe, but we'll get knocked out. They'll lose the semi-final.
Tars to Chelsea. Yeah,
Chelsea are going to get the double.
Well, Chelsea are a bit of a machine this year, but the two teams who actually put it up
there's
best.
No leaders. There's
Chelsea this year have winners
in that team.
Okay, look.
No one has won anything.
I think if they get something over the line, though, I think it's one of those things if they get over the line and they keep these young players progressing and they keep learning. And you've got a very good manager. You've got a fantastic goalkeeper you can keep in. They're playing 3 at the back, which is really suiting them.
Sure.
You've got 2 flying full backs, 2 great defensive midfielders in there. Like, they look so solid that I think if you just add, they just need a cherry on the cake.
Okay.
And I think they're close to it.
Like someone who's won something.
All right, hold on. Let's just.
Well, instead of spending 35 million on Sissoko, go and buy an amazing player for that. If you have that big budget, well, Sissoko is terrible.
Who would have been
relegated with Newcastle?
Who would have been better? What so did Wijnaldum? And he's not terrible.
Yeah, and somehow Newcastle made 60-odd million.
Okay, look, listen. What I'm going to do to try and encapsulate this in terms of putting the perspective of what they've done against what they can do, which I think is the argument here. That you guys are almost arguing the same point, but for different reasons. I'll just give you names of teams. And I want you to tell me, over the next 3 seasons, yes or no answer, is it more likely that Spurs could win the league than them? Okay, sure. So let's start off with Liverpool.
No.
More likely Liverpool win the league than Spurs over the next 3 years?
Liverpool have less money and a worse squad and bad.
Dan, would you agree with that? Spurs, more chance of Liverpool over the next 3 years to win the league?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's very similar. Definitely Spurs more of a chance.
Well, I don't know. Is Wenger staying or not?
Wenger is staying, by the way.
Whoever's coming in is going to have to rebuild. We'll get to that in 1 second. But regardless whether it's this summer or next summer, somebody else is going to have to rebuild. So
how long is this? Is for 3 years, is it?
Over the next 3 seasons.
I think if Spurs were going to do it, their best chance was last year and maybe this year.
Okay.
But you can say that about a lot of teams, though.
United?
I did say that. I said that to White. Wenger had to go and White. Every top team sacked their manager last year because how embarrassing it was that Leicester won the league.
Can I ask you something?
And then this year Chelsea ran away with it. But sorry, I'll let you talk in a second.
Sorry, if you think that this year and last year were Spurs' best chance to win the league, but you still think over the next 3 seasons they've more of a chance to win the league than Liverpool, do you not want to get a different manager for Liverpool?
No.
So you don't want to win the league?
No, because Liverpool have finished 7th, like every year bar 2 for the last 10 years.
3 years from now is a long time. You don't think that they could progress enough to be proper contenders?
No, I think both Manchester clubs will improve, and I think Chelsea will always be up there, and that's 3. And
so you think Klopp's the best Liverpool can ask for, but the idea of winning the league in the next 3 seasons...
I don't think the owners will give him the money to get a squad or whatever.
If Klopp can get a squad, but again, Spurs don't have a squad either. That's why I think they really found Europe tough.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, like when Spurs had Europe at the start, they faltered. They went into the Europa League, had a good Christmas, came back, bit of a wobble, out of Europa League. Now they're flying. It's they've won 10 in a row at home. It's not it's a stupid thing in the Premier League. You want to get in the top 4, and then when you get there, oh fuck, I don't want to be here, and then you'll just try and get back in top 4 the next year. You know, it's the teams don't build properly in terms of squads, and that's where both teams would be lacking there.
So United would have definitely more of a chance. Yeah.
Well, the financial power they have is insane.
Financial, they've had that same financial power for the last 3 years, and
but they haven't had
more than any other team.
And they've also had David Moyes and Van Gaal as manager.
Yeah, and well, Van Gaal will have finished higher.
Van Gaal won more trophies than Poch did.
And Van Gaal will have finished.
And
Van Gaal will have finished higher than Mourinho finishes this year. So
4th.
Sure.
Might finish the same, and I think Mourinho was probably going to win the Europa League.
Yeah.
And win the Carling Cup.
Okay, let's move on from our topic to some news. In horrible news, after playing in a victory, was it a victory on Saturday?
Yeah, beat Drogheda 4-0.
Drogheda 4-0, Derry captain Ryan McBride found dead, 27?
Yeah.
At 27 years old. And the cause of death hasn't really... But you're suspecting it could be a sudden thing, obviously.
It was... Well, when it broke, first of all, I thought it was a joke on Twitter that I saw. I was like, this can't be true. Like, saw it last night. And then Derry City tweeted, I'm like... I went straight to their Twitter and I was like... I kept resting refresh. Game up then, we're only getting very sad news in. I couldn't believe it. And it was either suicide or...
Oh, my God.
Or he just, sudden death syndrome. But it looks like it's the sudden death thing, because he said he wasn't, well, reports coming out that he wasn't feeling well. He told his dad, and he goes, I was going to go to bed for an hour or two.
Okay.
And I just never woke up.
Okay.
So it's mad, because I only saw him play 2 weeks ago in Tala, scored the winning goal. Mm-hmm. He's a very good centre-half. He's been there like 5-6 years, captain. Just like he played on Saturday.
It's
against Drogheda. Like, it's just bizarre. Like, and all the games have been cancelled for the midweek, and they're going to have on the 5th minute, because he's number 5 for Derry, 5th minute applause for everyone on the Saturday games. They're going to do something with the Welsh game as well for him. I think it's just so sad.
Was he ever in contention for the Northern Irish national team?
I presume he was, but like he was just doing it. He was just kind of Mr. Derry. Like, he was just their centre half. Like, and like he was never probably going to leave that club. He just loved, like, he only lived 2 minutes away from the Brandywell, which is their ground. Yeah. It's just terrible. Like, it's because you hear players dying in their 40s and stuff, and people retired. It's like, this guy's like 27. He's younger than us.
That is the craziest thing. He's younger than us.
Yeah, it's just puts a lot of things into it, so...
Yeah, well, our thoughts definitely go out to the Derry family.
Well, again, obviously, nothing's confirmed yet, but that's apparently what happened. But it's
either way, very, terrible. Very sad news. Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about contracts for a bit. We mentioned it earlier, so we can talk about West Brom and Arsenal if you want. Coming off the last few weeks, specifically the Bayern and Liverpool results, losing away to West Brom 3-1. And we talked about, even with all the pressure on Wenger, that he still has 2-year contract on the table. And I said, well, the one thing they might do is they might alter that contract. And you're saying that now they have altered it, and it is a 1 year. It looks
like now they're offering him a 1-year deal, which is just give him the 2 or nothing. Like, what's the point of altering it?
Yeah, we'll get to the mentality behind that 1 sec. But he did say at the post-match press conference that he has made a decision on his future. He just didn't say what it was. Do you think that bringing it down to 1 year is actually just the club's nice way of saying, just don't even renew this?
No.
You think
I think the club and the shareholders are very happy from the bit there, because if you look at, well, even in, I think it was like 2000, 2001, like this before the Invincibles, there was share prices of Arsenal were like, the fuck they were, it could have been like, I think like £15 or something. And now they're like worth absolute fucking thousands. Like, the money that they are generating from revenue every year. The board are delighted. They're getting their payoff.
But they can't be delighted with
if they're making
revolt.
Well, the fan result was not as big as people think it was.
Sure, but it's only going to grow if things keep going.
Well, no, it will grow. And I'm always just been sad now for the last couple of months that it's going to happen, that Wenger is going to be absolutely ousted of the club. If he goes back, say, Arsene Wenger is welcome back for, say, it's 2-3 years down the line. Arsene Wenger is the guest of honour. People probably start fucking booing him.
No, they won't.
No, I just
No, they
don't. I
won't.
just don't
No,
want
they
to
won't
see
do it.
anything
No, they
tarnished like that.
They won't.
Or
It's like me with Gerrard. He just had to go.
No, well, it's not like you, Jared, because you, Jared, changes with the wind. Your opinion on the man, but
Yeah, it's very true.
the thing about Arsenal is right. Let's just say like this whole anti-Arsenal thing. Maybe it has been blown out of proportion, but their catchphrase, their tagline is "Fourth isn't a trophy." If they don't get fourth, I might have asked this on the last show. If they don't get fourth this year,
Yeah, sixth trophy.
it's sixth trophy.
They're sixth
To
now,
me,
yeah.
it is. If they don't get fourth, does he still stay on another
He
year?
can't.
Are the board still happy?
I
So you
think that's the only thing that might actually
Okay, me too.
push them. It's like, wait a minute, we didn't get our Champions League money this year, and the future. I think it's the future of Sanchez. Forget Ozil. If they want to get rid of him, they'll get money for him. I don't think that's a major loss. Obviously, you'd rather keep your better players, but Sanchez, I don't think he'll want to play in the Europa League. Like, you can see Sanchez, he's visibly getting pissed off now. Like, he's visibly...
He's been doing that for a few months.
No, but it's really showing now. Like, you could see before it was a stage where, say, he was up front, you would have people, like, say, I think it was like the Man City game is the first one I really noticed it before Christmas, where Arsenal were just sitting back and the gaps between the defence, midfield and strikers were huge.
Yeah.
Like, it was about 50, 60 yards covering, three lines of play. And Sanchez was just waving his team on, like, get forward, come on, press. No response. And then he was kept doing it in games after game after game. He did it. I've seen him do it in plenty of games. The Bayern Munich game away, him and Ozil were doing it. They were both up front, pressing them on, wouldn't move. The club is actually, it's the worst we've seen them. Probably in our last 20 odd years.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like since probably '95 when George Graham left under a bit of a cloud.
I really.
Where they finished 12th that year.
What do you think of the '95 season, Neil?
I remember that there was a cloud left above Highbury.
Well spotted.
Thank you.
Who told you that?
Huh?
Who told you that?
The Martin King on TV3.
I enjoyed
Whose birthday was it in '95?
I enjoyed the two play.
I had a birthday in 1995. Although it's hard to remember back that far.
He was what? He was Neil was 18 that year.
18, yeah.
I enjoyed the two planes at the Arsenal match.
Yes, so there was one that
It's-
said, what was the one that was fam? What was it, fam?
It's
Fam.
it was
Blood fam.
time to go, and then
It's
the other one was
time to go.
Arsenal. Well, it was in Arsenal we trust. But Scales though, like they're giving it about.
No,
prices.
no. Excuse me. One of the planes had fam on it.
No,
No.
It
didn't.
did, didn't
No,
it?
it just said
didn't have farmer blood.
it said
on it.
Wenger out. Thanks, blood. Or something.
You did say fam.
No,
and
that
blood.
was just a Twitter photo.
It was the Scales though. The amount of money they're one of the Arsenal fans' biggest gripes
said
is that
that?
they're giving out about the price of season ticket and match tickets at the Emirates. How fucking much is it to hire a fucking plane? And DT after the game is like, oh yeah, there's going to be bigger planes and bigger posters.
You have to make a stand somehow. I like
Yeah,
Claude's
but,
idea
look, it was,
about
like, I've never seen more ridiculous thing. Having two fucking planes there. Like, the club is just...
Nah, to be fair,
Like, they're actually gone.
It's bad, but it's second. It's second to the time that Manchester United fans flew a plane over the Aviva for a Liverpool Shamrock Rovers reserve games. Just like, oh, gigs, whatever, Gerrard, none.
They didn't do that, did they?
Yeah, we were there.
I don't remember that.
We were there.
I remember being there. I don't remember the...
I don't remember this plane.
Do you not?
John, I was
John.
It was playing gauge. Remember, United fans were mad for it with Moyes out and.
They were mad for it. back
John, now, you and Sean did steal all the whiskey that day. Like,
I
are you
didn't drink
sure,
whiskey
like,
the
it
last
wasn't
day.
some other thing you were thinking of?
No, this absolutely happened.
then. I like Claude's idea about not going to the home
I
games
think that's
anymore.
actually the best thing they can do.
It's
Just
a nice approach.
boycott it
Yeah.
at home, go to the away games, and But it'd be. I'm absolutely so fascinated to see what happens next season. Will they be in the top four? Who will be managing them? Will Sanchez be there? It's
Arsenal Fan TV.
it's so fascinating.
Arsenal
really.
Fan TV.
I just like that.
Well, Arsenal Fan TV still be there.
That
Of course it
defeat was exceptionally bad because West Brom are on 40 points, and Tony Pulis' record once he gets to 40 points is like as far down as Wenger on a water slide. Like, it's just like he has like a win record of 0.5% or
Yeah.
something. Like like they've lost their last two, and look, West Brom like conceded like 8 goals.
They brought
scored
the beach
2 or
with
something.
them.
Oh, they're having a wonderful time.
I'll tell you,
Yeah,
let's just hope Aaron Ramsey plays the way he has been the last few weeks on Friday. Jeez, he's been
Certainly.
actually been terrible. Like,
We'll jump to that then. So we'll just hopscotch. international weekend.
Do Ireland roll a dice or something?
Nay. A 12-sided die. Do Ireland only have one qualifier?
Yeah, we're playing Iceland then next week in a friendly, which John says he's not going to watch.
Wales is going to be a really tough match.
The worst standard of football
I'd say so.
ever been, ever.
So Ireland have 7 senior team injuries, is it?
11 have pulled out from the big provision, but that's people like Darren Gibson as well, so they don't really count. But
Yeah, I mean like potential starters. Wes Houlihan was ruled out today.
well, the team I'd say will be
Houlihan. Sorry.
Randolph, Coleman, O'Shea, Keogh,
McGoldrick.
Ward. God, he's pulled out.
Has he?
Yeah.
That's a made-up name.
I did that when I saw the team. I was like chatting a friend of the show, Adam, who's probably never listened. And I was like, McGoldrick, who's he? And like he was like, he's got about 20 caps. He has 3 or something.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Is this Adam Joyston?
Adam Joyston, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of the Joyston fame.
Well, we've got a lot of injuries. I think McGeady could play a big role actually for us Friday. He's a player that won the championship, playing really well.
Oh, yeah.
And he scored a couple of cracking goals.
Definitely losing, though, aren't they?
If we won that, we're 7
Wait,
points
is
ahead
it
of
in
them.
the Aviva?
Yeah.
Where are you going? Ugh.
I don't have tickets.
Yeah, but it's not sold out, is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Buzzmasters. Okay.
Well, I could have got a ticket today, but I would have paid 140 quid. I wasn't doing that.
I legit didn't look into it, but is there any other good qualifiers? Like you're up, like every time you look at what else is happening, there's always a Spain and Italy match.
Jermaine Defoe's rebirth into the England team.
He didn't.
He did, yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
That's one.
The 3 strikers I have is like him,
Rooney.
Ricky Lambert, and fucking
Why didn't Peter
Jay
Crouch
Bothroyd
make
or
the
something.
list?
I'm pretty sure Vardy's on that team.
Oh, it's a very poor attack.
It's always a very poor attack. To be fair,
Defoe making it over Sturridge.
Sturridge can't walk.
Yeah, still.
I hear he'll never walk.
Well,
again.
Defoe's a better option than Sturridge.
Yeah.
Still.
Defoe hasn't scored in 2017.
That's actually true.
That was Sturridge.
Nope.
Scored in 2016.
Yeah. No, he didn't. Well, no, the FA Cup.
He scored against Sunderland as well. And he didn't score in the FA Cup, but that doesn't matter.
Do you not?
No.
He scored against Sunderland in the league.
Yes.
There we go.
I know,
They've made the
I know.
wrong call. Wheel him out.
What's going on with Sturridge?
I don't want to talk about it. Lukaku.
Well, let's talk about
Lukaku rejected an Everton contract. He was said to be the first Everton player to earn over 100,000 a week, and he said, "No, I'd like to play Champions League." He didn't get booed on Saturday, which John informed me of
He
yesterday.
tried, yeah. He played.
Right.
Like, he won.
Oh, he's paying for his transfer.
So where is he going to go, or is there any chance that they'll give him even more money and they'll stay? Chelsea? I agree.
If Costa goes, which is a possibility, I'd say Chelsea.
Only if Costa goes.
Yeah, he's not going to go and sit on the bench.
He might.
He's not going to go because there's going to be loads of teams after him. Like I
Who?
could see Arsenal maybe want him if Sanchez goes to play up front.
Poor team.
No.
I could see maybe if Zlatan leaves, he could go up front there.
Zlatan's not leaving, and he doesn't like Mourinho. I'm telling you, he's not going to United.
Well, where are you getting this thing? He doesn't like Mourinho.
Because Mourinho was like, go
Yeah, and
away.
he got rid of him.
And then
And
he
he
came back
got-
and he was like, I
yeah.
want to come back. Nah.
Yeah,
been
because
two
he didn't.
incidents.
Because he didn't need him.
No, he got rid of Lukaku when his forward line was an 80-year-old Fernando Torres and a 145-year-old Didier Drogba.
And
The
Samuel Eto'o was somewhere in there as well. When he stood the
exactly,
options.
Eto'o as well. When Chelsea were...
It was when Mourinho got that copy of Pro 2008, realised it was the greatest football simulation ever released, and said, "These strikers."
It's when Chelsea were by far the best team in the league in 13-14.
When you picked the best of Africa in that pro game, selection match,
Yeah.
you had Essien in the middle, and you just have Drogba and Eto'o up front.
the Torres.
Oh, and the Torres. Oh,
Aboué was still great on the right.
and Barry in goal.
Yeah, but I'd imagine Mourinho doesn't like Lukaku. I don't think he works hard
He's
enough.
not going to Man United.
So-
Arsenal just doesn't seem like a fit. If Vardy had gone this year, all bets are off. But it's somebody like Lukaku still seems weird to me at Arsenal. Although he does speak French. So that would help.
No, I think it's one of those that he won't be there next year, but I think there will be teams looking for him.
Juve.
Sure.
That's an option.
Well, if Higuain will have to go. See, he's not.
No, they play two up front now.
He's not going to play. Well, where's Dybala going then?
Dybala.
Is Mandzukic playing left mid?
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of saw him out there a few times.
Pjanic. You remember they just used to play loads of centre mids.
Yeah.
So Pjanic is dropped, and they're playing like it's like they're playing Mandzukic on one wing, and they're playing
Cuadrado.
Cuadrado on the other, and two up front, and then Marquisio and who
Khedira.
else? Yeah.
Yeah. and Dybala kind of off Higuain.
Dybala is a number 10. Pretty much, yeah.
No, but I there's all those teams you've mentioned. What about PSG or someone? I honestly
PSG is a wonderful shout.
I don't think that Lukaku, and I think he seems happy at Everton, but I think he does want to play at the highest level, and I can understand him.
He still has 2 more years.
I wouldn't begrudge him looking for a top team, but he's not going to go.
Sorry?
When he signed in his press conference, he was like, "I see a lot of players come to Everton and then move on. That's in 3 years. That's my plan." 3 years later,
perfect,
and they will get 60 million for him,
and they should.
They will,
because he's going to finish top scorer in the league.
They'll get 60 million for him. He'll want to play at a top team, and he'll want to be number 1 striker. He's not going to leave Everton if...
I thought you were going to say Leeds there. I was like...
Chris Wood, we don't need him. Chris Wood scored more goals than Lukaku this year.
Oh, this championship goal tally means nothing.
No, not a thing. No.
Listen, if
world class... It means it for me.
Okay, I mean in the scheme of world-class footballers, which mean you think Lukaku is. John doesn't. If 10 is world-class, John, right now, where's Lukaku? If number 10 is world-class... Where'd you rate Lukaku right now?
6.5.
What'd you rate other strikers in the Premier League? What'd you rate Kane?
8.
Zlatan?
Oh, it's such a toughie.
Bear in mind, you wrote him off at the start of the season. But that's fine.
He laughed at me, lads.
For what he's doing, probably 8 or 9.
Giroud?
4.
Welbeck?
0.
Sturridge.
-2. You have to play to get a rating.
Yeah, like seriously.
What about
so does Welbeck?
Andy Carroll?
5.
When he plays, 5.
So what? When you gave Lukaku a 6, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. For what? Their absolute ability. What do you expect? For
Lukaku's better.
For Lukaku's, that's not how the fucking rating works. You asked me where do I put a striker in 1 to 10, and then you're like, I rated Lukaku better than Andy Carroll, and then you went, nope, Lukaku's better than Andy Carroll, even though I explained where the rating came from. You're an absolute imbecile how to make an argument there.
He's better than 1 rating.
That's fucking outrageous.
He's better than a 1 rating.
In the world greatest band of all time, who would you have? The Beatles or Paramore?
There's stat Paramore.
In a 1 to 10. The Beatles are 8.
There's stats here. I just think that Lukaku, if you're the greatest, if you're the top scorer in the Premier League, which is arguably
you do it against bigger teams and not 2 goals against Hull and Bournemouth and all these sort of things and get your goal tally up and all of a sudden you're a world class player.
Yeah.
Nonsense. He's great. He could be better. He's lazy a lot of the time.
Is there a chance that at a bigger team he could prove you wrong?
Absolutely. And I'll wait for that. But at Everton, he's been nowhere near world class.
Is he better than Inzonzi?
I don't even know who that is.
The Seville midfielder.
Moving on. The favourite to join Barcelona is one Carlos Inzonzi.
It's Nzui. Nzonzi.
I think you're Nzui. Yes, so Nzui. So who's this gentleman and
he's
why should I care about
assistant
him?
for Barca. But he's gone into favourites now.
He's gone into favourite
to become the manager, so whatever that means.
Do we know?
Like last week, though, was Stampoli and Valverde was up there as well. So, but this guy's a new favourite. I think it would make sense, but
okay.
Like he played for Barcelona and he's coached. He's been coached there for Rijkaard era and Guardiola era, and he came back for Enrique, so he knows the club.
Sure.
So,
would you prefer him or Poch?
I think he'll be as successful as Shakespeare.
The writer or the coach?
The coach.
Well,
Somebody who knows the club getting the main job.
Sure.
Champions League.
I'm sure he can. I'm sure he'll win 4 games in a row.
That's all you need.
Okay.
Good rating.
FA Cup semi-final draws. Basically, probably the top 4 teams in the country.
You see your man from Arsenal TV. Arsenal, your man from TV goes, not Man City again. It's like, that is the easiest draw you could have gotten.
Sure. I would agree.
I would have said Spurs because of the Wembley pitch.
Oh, maybe that's actually I'd change my mind. Arsenal versus City, Spurs versus Chelsea. What do you see as a final?
City, Chelsea, which is great because they're probably the 2 best teams in England.
I would pay much money for it to be Spurs, Arsenal.
City, Chelsea.
When did Man City become the 2nd best team in the country?
That's an amazing.
I think they are. On their day, they are.
But when is their day?
I think they proved.
They had their day
enough
yesterday
times.
and drew with Liverpool.
They should have won that.
They limped out of
Adam
the
Lallana
Champions
should have
League.
won that. A draw's a perfect result.
On their day is so rare. Their defence is so bad.
I think City have.
I think they've got like 2 players in De Bruyne and Sané who are carrying them to points. Man City couldn't beat Stoke at home. Every other big team has scored 4 or 5 goals against Stoke at home. Man City had one shot on target in that match. Second best team in the country.
Yeah, they're also in the Champions League.
Outrageous. It's almost a shame that it's Chelsea Spurs because they're the 2 best teams in the country.
They are.
By a country mile.
The 2 best teams in the country by a country mile. That's a big country.
It's a big mile.
It's a big mile.
Yeah.
I hope it's Spurs and
They're a very
Arsenal.
small country.
In a very small country. I hope that it's Spurs and Arsenal in the final because Arsenal Fan TV, if they lose to Spurs in the final...
And Wenger's last match.
Oh, please. That's
very, lost like 4-0.
That's a fairy tale. That's incredible. All right. Talk about the Champions League nice and quickly, and then we'll see if there's anything Premier League-wise we're talking about. If not, we'll just move on to this week's coming fixtures. So... we just talked about Manchester City losing. They lost to Monaco 6-6 on aggregate away goal.
Didn't even try.
Yeah, it was awful.
They just had to not lose like 2-0.
Yeah,
and they still couldn't do it.
Like it's nobody, even the most hipster football fan, isn't going around claiming to know that Monaco were actually a dark horse this year. Do you know what I mean? This wasn't good.
Monaco have been impressive. Like they beat Spurs home and away as well.
Yeah, they've gotten as far as Leicester have.
They've beaten City. They were unlucky actually in the first leg. They missed a penalty in that as well.
Yeah,
and Falcao. They're top of the French league.
They are actually.
Well, they're beating PSG in the French league.
Sure,
just beating Balotelli's niece.
Balotelli's niece. Why did Balotelli miss the first 2 minutes of the game this weekend?
Did he walk racism or something?
I just heard about him.
Oh no!
I just heard about him going. If Italy called, I'd be straight back. So he just wants to move back to Italy.
Yes. No, I heard something very funny happened, and I didn't actually read the article. Well, that's very sad for Manchester City, and you know,
how many goals? I'd like to know. Is that the highest cumulative goals
it was like
for the last 16? Like it must be because it was what?
You mean
was it 13 in the
across all games?
Was it 12, 13 in the Barca match? 12 in that. 6 in the Atletico game.
Okay.
Like there was 7 in the Dortmund game.
After whooping Leverkusen away, it was a 0-0 back in Madrid. Atletico go through 4-2 in aggregate.
Where are they? Them or Juventus? I think they're the two you just don't want to draw. I said that during the groups. I just think no one will want to come. Like if you notice, all the teams who've kind of got to the finals lately in the last few years, they've all been. There's always been one this team. It's like, don't play them. Like Juventus a couple of years ago. Remember they won 2-1 in the Del Alpi against Madrid. It was 1-1. They got it back 1-1. Morata scored. Brought on Barzagli for the last 25 minutes. Yeah. It was like, well, that's game over. And Absolutely. It was just a great defence. I can see the same sort of thing going on with Atletico as well, because Atletico are gone from the league. They got a big win there against Seville on Saturday, which gives them a bit of a cushion on 5th place, so they probably got top 4, so they'll get Champions League. So I think those two are, and Juventus have 10-point lead in Napoli.
They sure do.
So they can kind of rest a few.
I think it'll be Madrid.
Okay.
Because I never think it will, and they keep winning it. So.
Juve beat Porto 1-0. That was 3-0 in aggregate. And Leicester go through against Sevilla. So
Juventus are the only team not to lose in the tournament.
I obviously want to talk about Leicester and Sevilla a little bit. Because yes, Juventus are the only team not to lose in the tournament. I think Juventus are going to win it. But,
that'd be great, but I don't think they will.
It would be great. They came so close last time. Oh, lady.
They haven't won it since 96.
Yep. Yeah. 2 years ago, got in the final. So this Leicester thing, Dan thinks that it's an outrage that they won. Personally, I think he's crazy. It's an outrage that Leicester won, he said to me.
Well, Seville hockeyed them first half and missed 2 penalties. And Nasri was fucking thick. Like, I've never seen a team not wanting...
Like, what should they get bonus points for that?
No, I never said that.
They hockeyed them, couldn't score, missed 2 penalties, and one of their players was an absolute gobshite.
If I can finish my point, John.
You did finish your point.
No, I didn't actually.
You did. You stopped talking.
No, I didn't. What I said was that I've never seen a team not wanting to win a Champions League game and just throw it away as much. I couldn't believe the stuff they were doing. Like, and they hit the post a few times. It was just one of those things. Leicester's had their name in the quarterfinals from the first leg. Even when Ranieri was there, how Leicester got away with a 2-1 over there, I don't know. Like they killed them. But look, Leicester were on their luck, and second leg they were the better team. But over the 2 games, Seville must have gone home kicking themselves.
I
Absolutely,
agree with you over the
kicking
first leg,
themselves.
but the second leg, absolutely not. Leicester were great. It was like old Leicester.
Would you like to do the Leicester show next week, lads?
Well, wait till the quarterfinal. Wait till they win the Champions League.
If they win the Champions League, and Man United win the Europa,
Yes.
is there 1 spot left or 2
No, if you win the Champions
in the Premier League?
if you win the Champions League, you knock out who's 4th.
And what about the Europa League?
You automatically get a 5th place.
That's right. So there'll be 3 spots. First, second, third.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So, so it could be 2. Doesn't really make a difference then, really.
Jeez, imagine we came 4th.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it
So
could.
United could stop.
Yeah. So,
United
like there
can't.
could be.
Leicester are the only team that can stop.
Sorry, Leicester, yes.
It could be a very unlucky thing because that's what happened at Spurs in 2012.
Leicester aren't winning the Champions League.
Well, probably not. No, but like, you don't know. Their last 8, probably not.
They are playing Atletico. Speaking of the last day.
No, they're not. Oh, they are. Sorry, that was announced on Friday. Yeah. Sorry.
Real are playing Munich, which always is great.
Xabi Alonso derby. That's the final season.
Derby. Monaco and Dortmund, which could be good.
That'd be a cracking match.
That's the hipster match.
That would be a cracking match.
Dirty.
And filthy pale ale and a
Pale ale
Monaco
being
game.
drinked out of old fucking jam jars.
I can almost taste the beer in my terrible mustache.
Yes. And Juve against Barcelona, which is also always great. Sad to see Juve and Barca now. I'd rather have seen the semis or final.
I think Juve will beat them. I think
Yeah, they could.
Bayern will beat Madrid.
Anything from the Premier League this week that caught your fancy? We've kind of talked about Arsenal, West Brom. Palace beat Watford.
I thought Lallana could have scored nearly one of the goals of the season if he had just scored.
Oh, Lallana.
With the lovely build-up play.
It was such a great build-up.
See, Firmino actually was celebrating and then turned around and he missed.
So funny. That was an incredible match.
It was an awesome match, wasn't it?
It was a great match. It was a great advert for the league. Like, that's what you want to see for the league. Both teams are going for it.
Especially even though there were so few goals.
The best thing was Yaya being absolutely gassed after 58 minutes, trying to pull back Lallana. Couldn't even do that. He was already on a yellow card. Tries to pull him back, missed and fell over. See, if he was on the pitch 5 more minutes, you would have scored. He could not move the man. He was absolutely
he somehow,
fucked.
and we've talked about the fact that he has quite long limbs, but it literally looked like his hands were glued to his kneecaps as he was trying to run.
There was no afterburners left for him. He ran out of them.
Yeah, it was a great game. Do you think it cements Liverpool's lack of chance or lack of ability
But
to get to the Champions League?
the last 8 or 9, 9 games you have left? 10?
Yeah.
Like, they're bar the Everton game. They're all like bottom half.
But that's the opposite.
I
for
know,
Liverpool.
and that's the opposite. So it's going to be so fascinating to see if you can get over this mental hump that you have of beating these guys. Because, like, that's where you've dropped. Like, if you guys are the ones who've blown the league, because the results you've had against the top 6 have been outstanding. Like,
Sure.
it's been such solid, and I'd love to see a table. I think you'd be ahead of Chelsea by about 2 or 3 points.
Jesus.
And then to go, if you take the bottom 5, I'd say you're the lowest of all of them by a good bit. So it's like there's no point beating Arsenal, Man City, Spurs, all the usuals around there, and you taking 3 points off them. They're not having any. So that's a massive swing, and then you lose to fucking Hull the next week, and then they beat someone else. It's just
I know.
Such a waste, you know.
Sacco, though, who's going to come back to right all our wrongs next season, has got his 3rd clean sheet with Crystal Palace.
See, Middlesbrough sacked their manager, and then their defence went to shit straight away.
They did.
Their defence was
Can
hilariously
we talk
bad.
about that match?
Middlesbrough and United.
Middlesbrough
3-1.
and Man United.
What a performance by Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, amazing. It was fucking brilliant. The goal he scored, Man United, Middlesbrough actually, he picked up the ball at the halfway line, and Middlesbrough had a whole back 4 and retreated all the way to their penalty spot and let him shoot. Just ran backwards.
Yeah.
Not one person engaged that when he shot. Good finish. It was a fine goal. Nothing major. Get over it. And then when that happened, Man United then went at 6 at the back and dropped back to their own penalty spot and allowed long balls go into the box with Gestad coming on. I couldn't believe the tactics Mourinho put out. I couldn't believe it. If they had just kept pushing up, it would have been fine. And they actually let them into the game. But got away with it. But, you know, the mighty Man United playing 6 at the back against a team who hadn't scored in 8.5 hours of football and were 19th in the league and just sacked their manager.
Yeah.
Which was a fucking stupid idea. Like, why did they bother sacking him? I don't know.
United still win. You know, I guess.
They get top 4.
They very well might. They're 1 point behind 4th now, aren't they?
No, they're more than that.
Is it 2? 1 or 2?
I'll check the league here.
Where are we? Are we 4th?
No, they're Arsenal and Man United both have 2 games in hand.
That's what
on
it
you
is,
guys.
sorry.
So if Man United win their 2 games, they're ahead of you by 2 points. But if Arsenal have to win, if Arsenal win their 2 games as well, they'll be ahead of you as well on goal difference.
We're fine though. Well, United's game in hand is against City away.
But Arsenal are going to win
They've
2
two
games in
games
a
in
row.
hand.
So.
Yeah, but one of them.
You're one of them. Okay.
Like Arsenal level was Everton at the moment.
Everton won 4-0. We kind of talked about that. It was a very good performance. Game of the weekend was Leicester and West Ham, 3-2.
Kasper Schmeichel was the saves he made were like really good. Like Andy Carroll, don't know how he didn't score. Great save. Leicester they were just dogged. But they were lucky to get the win though. They should have been. West Ham should have got a win there.
Were Stoke close at all against Chelsea?
They did. They kept the game alive as long as
they got a penalty that wasn't a penalty.
Okay.
But
And Spurs had a really good first half against Southampton and a really nervy second.
Southampton are quite on the beach there.
Think so?
No, they did well second half.
They scored 1 goal and then created nothing for the rest of the game.
Okay. We've got the Merseyside derby.
That's a good win for Bournemouth, by the way. They got 2 in a row now, and they're
that'll be fine. I'd never worried about them. They're absolutely.
I would have been nervous for them, except Middlesbrough and Sunderland are so bad.
Middlesbrough and Sunderland have really just.
Sunderland are gone now. They couldn't beat Burnley yet.
Yeah.
So that's probably it.
Did you see the amount of empty seats at the Stadium of Light?
Yeah.
When you watch match today, usually they're pretty good, the fans Sunderland up there, but there was a lot of empty seats, and that was even at the start of the game.
The writing's on the wall there. The 2 big games of this coming week, Saturday kicking off 12:30 at.
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Sorry, excuse me, 2 weeks with Liverpool and Everton, and then Arsenal and Man City would be.
City got a hock at them.
Yeah. We shall see. Okay, let's do some awards.
Can we do my quiz?
Oh, yes, please. John, your teaser.
It's between you guys. No, it's I've done a new thing where I've got a player and I have clues.
Oh, so yeah, like who am I?
Who am I?
Yeah, it's who am I, and you guys have to guess.
Do we have to put up our hand when we have an idea of the answer, or do you just ask one of us? And
I think that we should go back and forth, and we get a clue and a guess each.
You get
if you get
you get a guess. I'll say the clue. You get a guess each.
Okay.
Okay.
Put up our hand though if we're buzzing in, or how do we do it?
No, I'll point it. I'll go kneel down. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Well, he can into the mic there, John. When you're ready.
I was born in Chester in 1979.
I know.
You do you?
I think so.
Oh, go with Dan first, then.
I think he's got it.
Go on.
Who is it?
Is it Michael Owen?
It is Michael Owen.
There you are.
I was worried. The second I should.
That's why you went for him.
Let's see if I would have gotten clue 2.
My dad's name was Terry.
Why wouldn't I got that?
My first full season, I scored 18 goals.
Yeah.
In 2004, I was named in Pele's 100 greatest players.
I got it.
I was captain of my club and top scorer in 07-08, and then relegated the next season. I'm one of the 8 Premier League players. I'm one of the 8 players who have scored 150 Premier League goals. I'm the 12th most capped player from my country. I've scored in the Merseyside, Manchester, and El Clasico derbies.
You would have got it in the last one.
Maybe a little before then.
Nah,
The Terry.
He had me a Terry. All right. Goal of the week, Dan Lingard.
Yeah. Lingard.
John, your goal of the week.
Can I give it to the ones Lallana and Aguero didn't score?
Yeah, like the Lallana one would have been like.
The Lallana one's the sexiest goal that never happened.
No, that's still Suarez's volley against Arsenal. That is the sexiest goal never scored.
What one was that?
It's when Gerrard took. It was in the 5-1 when Gerrard took a corner just to the outside.
Oh
of the
yeah,
box
yeah.
And then it came back to Colo with an open goal and it bounced off his shin and went wide, which was almost better.
Do we have real goals of the week?
I'll give it to Lingard. It's a nice finish.
It wasn't a great week for goals.
Well, you can have Champions League in there too.
Champions League.
Did you think Forrester was really slow getting down to Eriksen's goal? For like
Forrest.
he's
Yeah,
he's a
Forrester.
big goalkeeper, but he
Since
seems
Forrester's got back from his injury, he made a howler at the Carling Cup. He was very slow to get down for one of the goals, and then the Ibrahimovic free kick he should have saved as well. He's not playing that well. There might be an issue there, but
Okay. Your hero of the week, Dan.
I don't know. Suppose. So it's just Derry City, I suppose. Just give them a.
Well,
okay.
that's very nice.
You know, I got it. I don't know. It's just sad. So
Yes, it's very sad. Your hero of the week, John?
Leicester City. Like they're still a very small team. They got to a Champions League quarter final. Like
That's a way to look at it, I suppose.
they weren't like poisonous. They got rid of their manager. They should have, and now they're in the Champions League quarter final inside.
Oh, join it next week for the Leicester show. Spoof of the week, Dan? Dan, please stop doing that.
Lingard. Okay. Oh well, the Ghanaian ref for getting suspended.
Glad I could be of help this week. You were spoofer of the week?
That's Samir Nasri.
Okay, my hero and spoofer story comes from the same event. Bayern Munich were beating Borussia Mönchengladbach 1-0, and in the 85th minute,
yes.
Arjen Robben was subbed off.
Yes.
He went to smack Ronaldo Sanchez's hand, and it looked like he almost took it off. Then he went up to Ancelotti and pushed him as Ancelotti was trying to say well done. And then he got on the bench and was like aggressively, people were just, hand their hands out, say well done.
Whacking
People's hands. Yeah. And Xabi Alonso, Ribery and Boateng were either side of him and just started looking at each other and all just started went, ah! And he was sitting there so upset and they were laughing in his face.
Another spoofer as well is the guy who says, I'd like to thank my wife and my girlfriend.
That was great. Did you see that?
No.
And he goes, sorry, just my wife. I don't have a girlfriend.
That was great. Oh.
So who said this?
I don't know who the hell he was.
Is this football related? Or
Yeah,
just
Yes.
no, it was.
He had a post-match interview. He says, I'd like to thank my wife and my girlfriend.
Who is this man?
Guys.
All right.
I don't know.
Okay, let's see how fantasy's looking, shall we? Are we going to do a show next week or not? Because internationals, or are we just leave it?
There's no way we're doing a show where we only talk about one thing. I suppose we can.
We can do Leicester.
We could try
next
to
week.
if we have time.
Okay.
For Leicester as well.
I hope we can do Leicester. I
Neil's
keep
gone down.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that it exists, lads. This happened to
I had,
me.
I had a quick look at the table today. One of the previous winners is rock bottom. Did someone pull out of the league?
Oh no, Keely must be MIA. All right, top 10. Regis Kara in 10th, Ron O'Reilly in 9th, Dave Nolte in 8th, Dan is in 7th, Darren Hillard is in 6th, Kenny is in 5th, Shane Lahart 4th, James Bjorn in 3rd.
Bjorn, the Swedish James.
Bjorn,
James
Bjorn, baby Bjorn from ABBA. John Carroll is in 2nd.
Comfortably 96 points off top.
Thanks for doing that for me. And Stephen Vincent is in 1st place
Damn
with the big
Spurs.
hard day.
He would have enjoyed today's show.
But unfortunately, why can't he hear it?
What?
I think he would have been like to have got in the conversation because he's a Spurs fan.
Oh, okay. Well, just make sure he listens to it.
Oh, he will.
Oh,
Stephen's
yeah.
a avid listener.
Oh, yeah. He's number one.
He's hopefully going to win the league this year.
Hopefully, yeah.
Number one.
We'll rig the league so our listeners finish the top. You know?
I was actually part of an ITK league before where the hosts both came last and first. Okay, so until next week, we'll be doing our Leicester show. And
Was that last year?
Sorry, probably. And if you do enjoy the show, please let a friend know. We're at Facebook/ITK Soccer Show, or Twitter at ITK Soccer Show, and YouTube, The ITK Soccer Show, where you can see all our archives from previous events over the last 3 seasons of football. Please do share the show around and make it known that we exist. We'll let it be known we exist again next week when we do our Leicester special and talk some international and domestic news. Until then, have a great week.